Okay, so now I'm going to invite Sarah to the stage. She's going to come and join me. Where's my buddy?
Hello.
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Good. How are you, love?
Good. Good, thank you. So Sarah and I go way, way, way back to our army days where we were roommates in Iraq back in 2007, I believe. So I don't remember years anymore.
many years ago.
She's also an extremely amazing athlete. She also owns a business, Good to Go, has a Good to Go mindset. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's doing so much. Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been up to in the last few years.
Great to see you, Loz. Gosh, it's flashbacks to Iraq.
Sorry.
PSYOPs. No. Wow, this is really, thank you so much for having me firstly. I'm really privileged, excited to be a part of the Sisterhood Collective Summit today, unleashing your potential. I guess this is a fairly new thing for me, having been through a fair few dark times in my life since Iraq and my military service. And you mentioned as a wife, I'm now a divorced person, so that wasn't a particularly easy phase either in recent years. But having said all that, I seem to have each time pulled through by drawing on certain inner strength and resilience. I guess I've grown throughout my life to move forward and take those lessons I've learned, take those dark times turning into the light times of what I want to be doing now with my life. So that's kind of the sort of, in a nutshell, where I am, where I've come from. And I'm living my best life. I don't know, I feel like what is one's best life? I'm pretty happy right now. I'm happy because I'm doing things that I feel that are true to me, authentic to me, and it's not like work when it's something you love to do. So that's where it comes from with the coaching Good to Go mindset that I started about 12 months ago, nearly to the day I launched my business. So that's been an amazing 12 months of learning as well. And
tell us a little bit about that, Sarah. What is Good to Go mindset? What do you do for women or people? I'm not sure who your target audience is, but what are you trying to do through that business?
Well, bottom line is basically I cater to pretty much anybody. I will be someone who walks beside you, mainly in a fitness and health sort of journey. So whatever that might look like, it could be that you're recovering from cancer. I've had a couple in their 70s that have come through a cancer scare and then had to, on advice from their medical team, become more active, and just sort of helping those people move through that, being quite sedentary in their lifestyle to more active, and they've fully embraced that lifestyle now. Through to people training for a full distance Ironman, 3.8k ocean swim, 180k bike and a marathon off the end of that. So it's a whole range of things that I offer, because I feel like I've been through all of it. And I haven't been through cancer, but I've survived some pretty nasty injuries and illness as well, and to be coming from somewhere from like a baseline, I know what that's like and I can understand that. And so therefore I think I bring that level of lived experience in terms of from both a sort of a basic level and basic goal through to up to whatever it is, the sky's the limit endurance wise. I think I've done that all as well. I've done Kona, Hawaii Ironman championships, which that really tested the
mental strength
for sure. So that's kind of, and I also sort of run group fitness, and I've recently just started with a corporate client who I've basically been coaching their executive staff, as well as providing mindset and action coaching for them alongside the fitness stuff, and taking yoga sessions regularly for them as well. So it's sort of a bit of everything, but I love being a part of it all.
Yeah, very ambitious as well. So look, Sarah, you've had a lot of, as you said, you've gone through some dark times. You've had to get through and get over probably a lot of self-doubt, confidence issues, you know, fighting through those limiting beliefs. What are some strategies you use to project yourself forward and keep motivated to live your best life and keep dreaming?
Yeah, I think, I don't know who might be listening today, but anyone who has experienced a mental illness or knows of someone with a mental illness, that can be quite crippling in terms of limiting beliefs, self-limiting beliefs. And that's where I was. I was completely, you know, I hated myself. I felt like a complete failure. I was failing. I got transitioned out of the military involuntarily. I didn't want to leave, but because of my mental illness, I had to. Then becoming a parent, I felt like I was really failing at that. I failed as a wife. So I had all this sort of evidence to back up that actually I am a failure. And so to get out of that mindset was a real challenge. And basically it came down to a lot of work in therapy, but also working on myself, finding those things where I felt I was able to be true to myself, feel authentic again. And that came through my own journey with sport and fitness. So little runs on the board over a number of years has built that confidence back. And I think there's no silver bullet. You've got to keep working at it. And I think I'll be working on it forever. And things, you know, I'll have setbacks. We all will. We'll all have setbacks along the journey. It's now how you deal with those and how you use the lessons of the past to grow that you know, resilience in terms of, right, had that knockback. This is how I'm going to encounter this knockback, and I know that I'll get through it. It's that positive reinforcement, listening to your inner fan as opposed to your inner critic. Because again, like even coming on your summit, Loz, I was like, well, what do I have to offer to anybody? Like, I mean, I'm very new in this journey of owning my own business. Haven't got all the runs on the board yet, but hey, but actually, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm living my dream, and I can share what I've learned and how. So it's just that constant not buying into that negative rhetoric of you're not good enough or you don't have anything to offer. It's hard work, and it's, especially as a woman, I think we're not great at it. And depending on when you were brought up as well, your age, I think it could have something to do with it as well. So I'm very hopeful that society is evolving in that we're seeing now girls are able to do whatever they want. When we joined Loz, girls couldn't do half the jobs in the army because purely we were female and we weren't allowed to go for those jobs. So, I mean, hells, we're not that old, and that's like in our lifetime. So I just think society as well will sort of create more and more opportunities to allow women to really soar and thrive and shine. So yeah, I think it's our time.
So you've had a lot of people following your journey, Sarah, over the last, you know, good 10, 15 years or so. I've seen, you know, you've got all these people, you're constantly talking to your people. I see that you're constantly learning. You are highlighting the wins, and you need to continue doing that. Obviously, we all do. It's like one of the best ways of building our own confidence, but reflecting. And often we might feel like we're treading water, but when you just look back that little bit, you're like, wow, I've actually come from there. You know, so I kind of do this on a weekly basis and then definitely on an annual basis. And something that we do in the Sisterhood is monthly and big picture quarterly kind of reflections and planning. So I can see that you're doing that. So you're building this following here. How do you stay engaged with your following when you're feeling flat, low, and unmotivated?
Yeah, I think it's really important, again, like you say, to recognize the wins, but also be confident enough to be vulnerable, because, you know, I do struggle. I struggle with, can I sustain this? Like, can I do all the things I want to do and be a good mum and be a good partner and be a good XYZ. Well, yeah, if you're just showing up as yourself and being honest about where you're at, you know, I have no hesitation with saying when I'm struggling, and people, I think, need to see that. Like, you know, I think people need to understand that we're all vulnerable. We're all, you know, struggling with something at some point or another. And if we talk about it a bit more, I think it just normalizes the fact that you're gonna have some deep lows, but you'll get out of there. Like we'll pull each other through. And I think, yeah, that's for me how I feel like I have connected with people I work with. Yeah, I have nothing but that comfort in the fact that I'm okay with that too. I think because I have been quite open about my mental health struggles in the past, I'm not afraid to, you know, continue that conversation. You know, so yeah, I think that's really important. Just turn up as yourself.
Yeah, authenticity. It's what we've been talking about a lot today. So you're getting a lot of speaking opportunities at the moment, it seems. And how do you go about, you know, getting these opportunities? Are you seeking them? Are they coming to you through word of mouth, the loyal following that you've got?
Well, initially, Loz, I was on 60 Minutes. It's obviously, I think they have it in the States, they have it in Australia, and that was back when I was going through the difficulty of transition out of the army and coming to terms with a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress. And so I put my whole life out there. I put it all out there. And from that experience came a lot of people from various organisations, many government agencies as well, who wanted to show someone who looked normal like everyone else, I guess, but, you know, had been through something quite, you know, catastrophic in terms of loss of career and all that sort of thing, but had found a new purpose, a new passion and a new way. So I kind of joined on this speaking circuit, but for free, because it was, again, for profit, not-for-profits as well, and different organisations. And although, like, you know, it was a good experience, I think, because it built that confidence. It built every time I did it, I felt a little more healed as well, as in because I've sort of shared how hard stuff was, and I have people nodding their head back at me. I'm like, oh, you see me. So that has been quite a healing process as well. But I guess now that I've started this business and I see all these amazing people out there speaking and sharing and storytelling, and I think I've got the capacity to do that too, and be paid for it, because, you know, that's part of my business offering is speaking. Mm-hmm. However, yes, it's been many years of not being paid as a speaker, and this year I was asked to speak, be the guest speaker at the International Women's Day event in Sydney for women veterans. And I thought, Sarah, this is the time. This is the time you value yourself. You're going to ask. You're going to say, yes, on this condition, I need to be remunerated for my time. And this is especially important on International Women's Day, because you're asking me to do something, and I will do it, but I feel like I need to be valued for that time and contribution, because it's not just a matter of rocking up and talking. It is preparing, it's, you know, it's travel, it's all of that. So that was a massive step for me, because I'm just normally a yes person. Being military, we sort of bred like that, to be yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, I'll do whatever you say. I don't want to let anyone down. But yeah, I was finding I was just letting myself down more and more and more, because I wasn't valuing my contribution. So that was a big step for me. And funnily enough, they said yes. And that's sort of, yeah. So I guess if you just take that leap of faith and back yourself. And you know what, if they'd said no, would I have gone? probably not. I think because I've got so much else on my plate, and I've got so much else that I want to do and start growing.
Mhm.
But yeah, you've really got to sort of set your boundaries and say, yeah, I am worth this.
Who's your biggest support network, and what sort of resources are you finding is really helping you along your journey to build your confidence and take that leap and forge these new paths?
I'd have to say I have a great partner, and he's sort of my sanity or sounding board for everything. And although sometimes I don't listen to him because I just want to do it all. But yeah, it's good to have that person sort of saying, well, these are your energy resources. This is what else you got going on. Have you thought about X, Y, Z? So great. You really need someone who's just super honest with you in your life. And he's very honest, and he'll tell me I'm doing too much. And yeah, but anyway, then also I have my own coach who I've had for the last 5 years. Coach in terms of initially all about triathlon and coaching me to that next world championship. And he's got me to 7 world champs from all the different distances in triathlon. And I've got another one coming up this year, which I'm very excited about. And that will cover off every single distance in triathlon ever in world champs level. But not only has he kind of been there for 5 years, sort of coaching me in that physical side, he started, as I started to talk about my own business, mentor me and how what works for him, what hasn't worked, left and right of arc boundaries and things like that. So I think it's really important to have a mentor in the field that you're wanting to work in, and he's mine in terms of the coaching fitness. But yeah, that, and then people like yourself, Loz, and people who just pump you up and help you be your best. And I think you need those people to make sure that you kind of got that support around you.
100%. I've got one final question for you, Sarah, and then I'm going to let you relax. And that is, what was my question? You know what? Now I've just lost it. What was oh, that's what it was. You're a woman of the world. You're doing so many things. What is it that you do to reset?
Wow, what do I do to reset? I know it sounds odd, but all my training I find quite meditative. So cycling, you can't sort of be distracted when you're in a bike. You have to be fully in the moment, so you're not getting, so you're not in danger. Swimming, I swam this morning, did my couple of Ks swim, and it's just a time for me to not be connected to any device, but just in my own head and just thinking about what's coming up for the day. So I know it sounds odd, but my training is really like, it's my time, it's my me time, and it helps me. I mean, the fartlek and the sprint sessions aren't my favorite, but that's just stuff you have to do if you want to get better. But yeah, those low impact, low sort of intensity sessions are my happy place. But on top of that, I do love spending time with friends and family. And I love yoga. I teach yoga, but I also try and practice it a bit as well, because it gets super tight hip flexors, and I think we store a lot of stress in our hips without even realizing it. But just being able to release pressure of the body through gentle movement and breath is completely how I know I'm feeling on top.
Yeah, cool. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything you've done. I know there's so much more that you could talk about, because you're very successful in this as an athlete, and you've got so many things. I think that's a whole new segment, is to talk about, everything that goes behind the training and everything. But I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about Good to Go mindset and what it does for people. We're going to share that with our people at the end of the summit. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks, Laurie. It's so good to chat, and I'm loving what you're doing too. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, love. So for the rest of you guys, we are going to wrap up the summit now for today. We will be back tomorrow. If you can't make it today tomorrow, and you want to see these speakers, you can, opt to do the VIP upgrade, which will get you the recordings. We have that hot seat, and we've got a lot of one-on-one calls with some of the speakers and other programs and goodies in that little bag for you, which is really cool. Appreciate everybody coming today. Appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So thank you.